thrilled to be here today with Stacey May Fowles, who's the author of Infidelity, our latest book in the City Line Book Club. And we are so lucky to have her here to answer some of our questions about the book. So let's get into them. So Stacey May, first we will ask you, how did the book come to be? Can you tell me a little bit about where the idea came from?
People ask me this question a lot, and I really actually don't have an answer for that. Usually the way I write is I just start writing scenes and then they come together in a book. But I do know that I really wanted to explore this idea that sometimes we're in our lives and we look around and we have no idea how we got there. And some people's reaction to this is to burn everything to the ground. So that is what the characters in the book essentially do. You could say by accident, you could say on purpose. But I just wanted to sort of explore this idea that people make these decisions to get married, have children, own a home, have a full-time job, do all these things, and sometimes they don't really question why they're doing them. And inevitably what happens is they get into a position where they have to. So that was sort of the idea behind the book and the reason I wrote it.
That makes sense. I know we all have those moments where we wake up and wonder, how did we get here?
Yeah.
So on that, I guess let's talk a bit about the characters. So your four main characters, none of them are sort of wholly perfect or wholly bad either. Can you tell me a bit about how you straddled that line?
Well, I think that everybody is trying to be wholly perfect and nobody is. So the way in which I wrote the characters was to sort of be genuine to the fact that nobody is wholly good. As much as some people try to pretend they are, people definitely have their flaws, and it is their flaws that make them better, more attractive people. And these two characters fall in love because of the flaws in each of them. They see past them, and they get into this position where they actually see each other for who they are. And that's the reason people fall in love. And I wanted to show that people can be bad and still be good, I suppose. So,
Did you just throw a title to one of your previous books at me?
I did. Actually, I did. And it's funny because I think that, all of the books I've written, it's been exploring this notion of goodness and how it's not real and how we try so hard to be good and it's an impossible goal, I think.
Very nice. So for those following along, Stacey's first book was called Be Good, so go check that out as well.
Plug.
So on that, with the characters, I was wondering which character you most liked writing in this book and which one maybe you found the most difficult.
I really loved writing Veronica's best friend character, which is Lisa, who is, if I'm totally honest, and I know that novelists are not supposed to play their hand like this, but is totally an amalgamation of all of my close friends. And she was so fun to write because she's the kind of person that her main focus is Veronica and whether or not Veronica is making the best choices in her life instead of what the right thing to do is. So Lisa may be giving bad advice, but she's giving the best advice to Veronica. So that's that character was great to write. The character that was really difficult to write was Aaron, who is sort of this clean-cut, gym-going, perfect, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do anything bad ever. And it was really hard to sort of get inside the head of somebody who lives their life that way, because I don't live my life that way. So, but I hope I, paid him genuine respect.
For sure, I think you did, although I may have had my opinions on Aaron, but we'll get into that in our book club meeting. So on a little bit of a heavier topic, I wanted to talk a bit about how you discuss topics such as infertility and cancer in the novel. Now, not giving too much away, but you sort of talk about those earlier in the novel as possibilities and then sort of shift into them becoming much more real and taken much more seriously by the reader. One scene I really liked was the scene in the butcher shop. So can you tell me a bit about how you dealt with those issues and why you thought it was important to do so?
I think that, as we get older, these anxieties sort of face us head on, and I think it was important to tackle things. A lot of my interest is in women's issues and the things facing women. And these, particular themes in the book and particular instances in the book were important for me to look at. Instead of just writing, a romance, I wanted to write a romance that was embedded in the things that actually happen to people. So while you're falling in love and while you're having this clandestine affair, real life happens. And it's not all, romantic moments in hotel rooms. It's reality exists at the same time people try to escape it. So, yeah.
That makes sense. So last, we'll just want to know, what are you working on next?
I'm in my 30s and I decided to go back to school. So I'm actually doing an MFA program in creative nonfiction. So as part of that program, I'm writing a nonfiction book, which is a completely different experience. But I have the support in the program to help me through it, and it's a different set of tools, but it's really exciting. So I'm really excited about it.
Great. Well, good luck with that. And we'll be looking forward to reading that. And we hope that you'll all be reading Infidelity along with us. Share your comments on the book, and we'll see you soon with more great exclusive content from Stacey May. Thanks so much.